Hey, it's the God Awful Gospel Hour, and I am sitting here listening to 3 different Little Lord Fauntleroys talk about all their excursions to France.
Oh, Mike, did you do any Star Wars shit in Tunisia?
I did.
Yeah, did you go see where the Tatooine?
George Lucas is not really that good at coming up with original names because there's a city called Tatooine.
Oh, really?
There's a couple lightsabers buried out near there.
Really? Oh.
According to the end of
No,
episode 10.
no, that's not canon. That didn't happen.
Real.
Oh. Okay.
There's no Indiana Jones 4.
It's not worth even mentioning.
Yeah.
There is no Disney canon.
Are we talking about Star Wars again?
Yes, we are.
I did a Star Wars.
Is this Star Wars talk?
Yeah.
This is my wife doesn't give me any material, but this is the one joke that I almost want to do about that is because like we were talking Star Wars and she was like, my favorite one was the one with the girl with the little curly hair and the Ewoks. And she was talking about Caravan of Courage.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, we don't talk about that.
I watched that. That was probably the first Star Wars thing I ever watched. Wow. I was because I was born in '82, so I mean I was a year old when Return of the Jedi came out, and at some point we had recorded Battle for Endor off TV.
Wow,
so that was the thing I watched more than anything because I had the Ewok toys. So that's the first thing I really remember of Star Wars.
I have it off the Pirate Bay if you want to relive that.
They have it on Disney Plus.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah. You don't even have to worry about that.
They're bringing back one
Wilford
of those creatures.
Brimley, all of Wilford Brimley's pores because it's HD. So
yeah.
I guess I don't know. Maybe I should pull it up. We can see.
Yeah.
There's a creature from that was never used again, and they're bringing it back for Skeleton Crew.
Really? Okay.
The new Goonies Star Wars that's coming out.
Oh.
Kids lost in space trying to find their way home.
Dude, they put fucking Ground Control to Major Tom in that. What? How stupid. I recognize that song. I clapped because I know what that song is.
Ground Control was in Venom. It was the other one, the '80s one. I just downloaded it because I liked it.
Oh, yeah.
Peter Schilling, Major Tom.
Oh yeah.
So anyway, it's the God Awful Gospel Hour. It is the night before the apocalypse, and Mike Olson is with us.
Hello.
He's been on our streams, but this is the first official episode that Mike has been our special guest on.
Mm-hmm.
It's two libtards versus 2 red staters.
Okay.
Were you doing like import-export shit in Tunisia?
No. Just visiting.
Oh, okay. No work-related anything?
Yeah.
No. Actually, if my wife ever went to like Vietnam or China, we'd be able to like write it off, but that's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike just got back from France and Tunisia. He had a whole Mediterranean kind of excursion. Did you go over the Rock of Gibraltar? That's Spain.
We just flew.
That's where Spain and Morocco are, right?
But then you also went to Sam Talent's WrestleFest, right?
Yeah. I went to
the last time we saw you.
That was awesome, actually. Yeah, because I did.
Where was it at? Cleveland?
In Arkansas, actually, in just like Cleveland.
How did they get involved in that? So you saw Lund perform too?
No, he might have been there. It was mostly they were just doing the color commentary during the wrestling.
Okay. They didn't do stand up.
And actually there were some guys doing stand up in between.
Okay.
So it was cool to see. It was
What was the event called?
It was a Sam Talent's like wrestling comedy extravaganza or whatever. It was
like Vince Vaughn's cowboy comedy bebop.
Well, they had it was the Bentonville Comedy Festival or whatever. It has a better name for it than that. So I was up there just for mountain biking, and then I realized I was like accidentally there for holy shit, you got the Ewoks.
I put Battle for Endor on the screen,
yeah, I was just there for biking, and then I realized that there was a whole bunch of comedy shows, so I got
the best thing about their podcast, Chubby Behemoth, is when they talk about tits, they go, she's got them. I think she's got them. Has she dumped them out? Whenever they talk about famous actresses, they're like, I think she's got them.
Wow.
Has she ever dumped them out?
This has become the South Austin podcast with the most gross terms for sex stuff. Like, what was the last one?
Slurped
off. Wow. Now dumping it out.
Yeah.
Gotta dump them out. If you got them, dump them out.
If you got them, dump them out.
Dump them out. Yeah. Dump them out. Yeah.
My kid had slept with her hair and curlers, and she came downstairs, and I was like, you look like Farrah Fawcett. And she was like, what the fuck are you saying? They don't know what that is. I had a camp counselor that hated Farrah Fawcett because he was a Vietnam vet, and she did like some anti-nom shit or something.
That was Bridget. That was what's her name, the jazzercise lady,
Jane Fonda.
Jane Fonda.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
My dad still had
Dizzy
it, like
broads.
until the day he died. He had a thing against.
Yeah,
Jane
I think my dad still doesn't like Jane Fonda.
It was. I mean, it was like I would have not supported the war. There's a difference between
Was one of them a Charlie's Angel?
No, that was Farrah Fawcett. Yeah,
Charlie's Angel.
like it's one thing to protest the war. I support you in that, but like going,
she went over to the North
Vietnam and getting photo ops behind a flak
She
She
cannon.
sat in a
like
tank and she basically did the Michael
like,
Dukakis, but for the bad guys.
Or Dennis
Yeah.
Rodman or
Yeah.
Steven Seagal.
Yeah,
right, yeah.
They're all
That
everybody's
was-
going over there.
Bad form, Jane.
Bad form.
But there's also like kind of this thing where you're like, well, it's 60 years later. I think I'm over it.
Yeah.
So my daughter looked up Farrah Fawcett to see what her hair looked like, and she was like, "Oh, cause of death, anal cancer."
Wow.
Oh,
I had
she
no
did-
idea.
Yeah,
Butt
she did
cancer?
have-
Yeah.
yeah.
And then the kids are talking, they're doing all this shit at school about the elections, and they're like, "What's going to happen?" And she's like, my daughter's like, "I'll find out on Tuesday if I get to be in danger or not." I was like, "You're in danger. Everyone's in danger. You're in danger when you step out of the house. There's bears."
Yeah, you're an American in school. Like you're like you are a prime target.
There's a 99% chance you're going to get mowed down today.
I was like, "If you want to get an abortion, we can go to Colorado." And she was like, "We can go on a aborcation."
Oh,
Sweet.
nice.
A Colorado
Oh, that's pretty good.
aborcation.
Yeah.
Not Cancun. I mean, I don't know. That's
Man, that-
like,
that-
Your wife's writing your jokes. My daughter's writing all my jokes. Thanks, ladies.
Yeah.
Girls get it done.
Girls get it done.
I've just resigned myself to whatever happens. There is a group of people who are lame and stupid retards that I get to laugh at.
Yeah.
Whether it's the dumbass Trump retards or the dumbass Kamala MSNBC robot retards,
Yeah.
I get to laugh at them and mock them for being stupid
Right.
and losing.
Right.
I think there's one thing everybody can agree with. I've been working on this bit is that one thing that actually can unite everybody, and that is fuck swing voters.
Yeah.
Like how are you not decided?
Yeah,
Like,
who has not decided
sometimes-
between Trump and
it's
Harris?
like I don't know. Sometimes I wake up and
It's
I
really
I want to
right and
protect the
left
planet
brained.
and
Yeah.
global warming and stop the chain of events for the planet. And then sometimes I just wake up and I want to dump a bunch of oil in a fucking river. Like I don't know. I'm a swing voter. Like
I don't think that there's anyone who's not truly decided at this point.
Yeah.
All of this stuff on the news about like, oh, the polls are like 50, one day it's 48, 49. Yeah,
We're decided. We wrote in Audrey Scott. We're
Did
all
you really?
getting all the
Did you really?
listeners to write in Audrey Scott for president.
Well, I've said it before, but I can't vote for either of the major candidates because I refuse to vote for somebody who eats their steak well done with ketchup. But I also can't vote for somebody who has their pronouns in their Twitter bio. So I wrote in Cornel West.
Oh, was Cornell not on the?
No, he's not on the
Green
Texas
Party?
ballot.
Oh.
But so I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to write him in.
Yeah.
I
You're
love
that
Cornel
blip.
West.
You're
He's
going to be
great.
that one
Yeah.
blip.
Yeah, I like Cornell
One
West
dot.
too, but I didn't vote for him.
I like Russell Brand. I wrote in Russell Brand.
You wrote in Russell Brand. Nice.
I like his newer stuff.
Yeah.
He's been doing
Oh, post Jesus Russell Brand.
Yeah, he's all Jesus-y now. I think, isn't it? Like
Yeah,
It's the
that's
new.
how you-
It's the next evolution of the grift.
He's doing a
I'm waiting
reverse.
for Elon Musk to become like a hardcore Christian.
I think he's dabbled in that.
Yeah.
It's like there's
Russell Brand is doing a reverse Texas youth pastor. Texas youth pastors do religion first and then do sex weirdness. Mm-hmm. Russell
Yeah.
Brand did sex weirdness first, and now he's doing religion.
I feel like people
Uno
though,
reverse card.
There's people like that who they go so crazy with drugs and fucking that then the only option is to
Yeah.
become a Christian.
Yeah,
Stick it in a weird
If
hole.
you fucked as many people as Russell Brand, you'd be a Christian
Yeah.
too. You'd be like, God damn, I can't believe I don't have AIDS. There must be a God.
Trying to find God in there somewhere. It was
Yeah.
in their butt or anything.
yeah. I haven't listened to any of I don't listen to any of these people. Like even like
Russell Brand's a movie star.
yeah, no, I know who he is. I remember but I've like podcasts. Why the fuck would I listen to a podcast from that dude? Like
No.
like sorry. I just
Why would anybody listen to any podcast but the God Awful Gospel? Hour?
Indeed,
He's the only
indeed,
good
yes.
podcast in the
Yeah.
world.
I listened to 3 hours of Trump on Rogan.
oh
Yeah.
You listen to the whole.
God.
I didn't
whole
listen.
thing.
I just caught some clips.
Why?
Yeah, I listened to
At
it.
least you didn't watch it.
like
I couldn't watch
I don't
it.
need to
I
look at
was
that
I
meat.
was
I mean
Too
washing
meaty
my
faced.
car and jacking off and stuff. That's for my neighbor.
Yeah.
there's like a sick part of me. Like if I didn't have to like face the consequences of what he could do, that like would like to see like a 70-year-old man in diapers that's clearly in cognitive decline. Just see what happens.
Well, we've had that the past 4 years.
Yeah.
yeah, but he holds it together like a little bit. Like, he kind of holds it
He
together.
doesn't go off into rants about the size of Arnold Palmer's dick.
Yeah, he has not filleted a microphone.
Filleted a microphone. It's like,
and that's actually like that's the one thing that I'll give the Democrats. Like,
it was a podium mic. There's no reason to jack the shaft like that. It's fixed in place.
Like,
it's not a stand.
Jesus, somebody rein in Grandpa. Like, what the hell?
But do you really think that by the way, I'm not voting for. I did not vote for Trump. Just putting that out there first and foremost. But do you really think Trump's cognitively declined? Like, if you listen to Trump 2016, listen to Trump 2020, listen to Trump 2024, it sounds pretty much the same to me.
Every podcast he's on, he's super chill and funny. Like, his kids are like, yeah, go be on this cool. And he acts like a cool guy.
What's actually what's interesting, though, is if you listen to, like, old interviews from him when he was on Letterman and could actually, like, he actually strung together, like, sentences, like, was fairly coherent. Almost charming, actually, like in the 80s. Like, it was interesting to watch.
Some old interviews with him from the 80s, and he's, like, kind of eloquent, and he kind of has things put together. He's definitely, something's definitely happened to him. I think it was the Fox News thing took over his brain and scrambled him. Yeah. Because he turned into a Fox News grandpa. And
everything weird that happens to him, I try to think, like, maybe he's a good guy and he's doing the best he can. But this just, he pushes the envelope. Like, he does mustache twisty bad guy stuff. Like, I'm going to dismantle the Environmental Protection Act.
Yeah. Well, that's like, God, that's like, I watched, I was flying over, I watched, it's a James Bond movie, A View to a Kill. And Jesus, Elon Musk is like, he's a Bond villain now. Like, used to be just this nerdy.
If he's blue, he'd be Grand Admiral Thrawn. He looks just like Grand Admiral Thrawn from the Ahsoka show.
No, he doesn't. He looks nothing like Grand Admiral Thrawn from the Timothy Zahn novels that came out in the 1990s. That are the only thing that Grand Admiral Thrawn has been in.
Did you guys listen to Loveline back in the day?
Oh man,
Loveline, yeah.
It was
dude, I loved Loveline.
The home station or where they
K-Rock.
recorded was K-Rock. It broadcast in my
I got called listening to Stern. They're like, you're not allowed to listen to that. So I put on Loveline and had to turn it like to one notch down so that nobody could hear in the Christian household what was in it. It was just
I mean, it's bad.
Drew sticking in her butt.
Well, Adam Carolla was so good back then, and now he's a conservative idiot. He's lost his mind on. It was Obama drove him crazy.
What used to be awesome, like, because before he was on that, before he was Mr. Bertram. He was like that
was how he got his start,
and he knew his shit. Like, people would come in there with like a carpentry question, and he would give them really good information.
Too. He's just boxing.
Yeah.
He's a real man's man.
He was really quick too on Loveline. I mean, people would say shit, and he was just on them. Yeah.
He was good at riffing. He was good at giving Drew shit. He was great. I didn't ever listen to Loveline until I went to college because we did not get Loveline where I grew up. We didn't get that in Abilene, Texas.
That's illegal.
But I moved down here. But we got the TV show obviously on MTV, and I didn't understand where it came from or what it was. But I remember watching it because it was all just like, ooh, they're asking crazy sex questions and all that. Yeah. And then I moved down here, and we had 101X, and it was on every weeknight. So I started listening to it, and I got hooked on it. And at one point, I was downloading like backlogs of years and years of the episodes because I think he started on it in like 96.
It puts you to sleep.
And it went all the way to like 2010 or something like that. Yeah.
I'd pass out because I listened to it at night every time because it was LA.
Yeah.
It was later in Virginia. So I put it on at like 11 p.m. and passed the fuck out.
Oh, yeah.
I have weird dreams about.
Both Adam and Drew have become Trumpy type people.
Well, Drew is a friend of your mom's house, so he comes here and goes on Tom Segura's show a lot. And he was on last week, and he said that he's friends with Sharon Stone. She knows some shit that Led Zeppelin did that would get them locked up, and he said she needs to speak out, and what they did is not okay.
Well,
that's how like most rock stars
40 years ago. Like, isn't there?
Just let these dudes die.
Statute of limitations.
They've admitted it themselves. They said if we did now the stuff that we did in like 1970, we would immediately we'd be in jail. We would be underage girls, all kinds of stuff.
The casting couch has been going on for decades. I mean, in the 1920s, it was. Those dudes that did that died happy because nobody ever caught them. They're like, no one ever knew the horrible things.
Yeah. I mean, I love Aerosmith, but man, Steven Tyler did some shit.
Didn't he have like a 14-year-old girl on tour with him?
Yeah, I think
her parents signed him over.
Sign up, just go ahead, take my daughter. Cool.
Yeah.
Talking like things and nobody cares.
Anthony Kiedis, same thing actually. Like he was in his book. Like he actually basically said like he was having sex with some underage girl. And
he was having sex with somebody's kids.
Yeah. It was
Somebody's sons and daughters and kids.
I think
under
apparently
the bridge downtown.
he was like 12 years old hanging out with.
They tried to flee, but they couldn't get away.
Yeah. It is weird though. Like that's the one thing that I like, because they have like these open secrets. Like I'd be a little bit Pitt Diddy, like everybody knew, and then Weinstein, everybody knew, and only a few people called him on it. Which Courtney Love, I don't like Hole as a band, but she was awesome for actually calling out Weinstein. Like that was like her, and I think who was the Family Guy.
Seth MacFarlane.
Yeah, like he actually called him out.
She said something like back in like the early 2000s. She was like, if Harvey Weinstein asked you to come back to his hotel room to look at a script, don't do it. She said something like that.
Yeah.
There's an open secret in Austin comedy about Tony hits chicks.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about it, but now he's under investigation because of all this stuff.
Well, I mean, he doesn't fuck chicks, right?
Yeah.
So he's
Waiting.
He just gets frustrated.
Oh no! I slapped my beard in the face.
He did hit somebody. Was that? I haven't heard this.
Some ex-girlfriend,
Who
I think,
knows?
said he was abusive.
Yeah, he said mean words. He sex trafficked her into another room.
He does strike me as an asshole. So
I'm
that's
trying
kind of
to
his shtick.
write a bit about this, where like girls accuse guys of sexual mistreatment, but a lot of it is just party. Where a guy like is hanging out with a girl and gives her, will you give me a drink? Sure. Can I have some of those drugs? Sure. Do you want to go fuck? Sure. And then afterwards, she's like, he took advantage of me. No, bitch, you got outsmarted.
Yeah.
You're dumb.
Yeah.
You were playing a match of wits to the sex.
Right.
It wasn't to the death. It was to the sex.
There was no did any
And girls
girl,
outsmart guys all the time. They take all their money.
Yeah.
They lock them up in jail for no reason.
How far?
Who's going to win?
How far in are we, Donnie? That Josh started
17 minutes.
Oh,
Mark it.
17 minutes. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
I'm saying it's equal and everybody fools everybody. It's fine. I'm okay with it.
You know how women go on your phone and they spend all of your money till the next paycheck on a bag, and then they won't get up until 2:00 in the afternoon.
You know,
you
women.
have to take the kids.
You know how women are.
You know how all these women are.
You know how these women are.
So are you saying like if you woke up with like after passing out like at a party and like suddenly your asshole was like covered in Vaseline and you'd be like, oh shit, you got me.
If me and the dude were both blacked out, then that's both of our faults. Or was it you saying I got pegged, or was it a gentleman? Who fucked me?
It matters. It matters.
Let's, for the sake of argument, a gentleman.
This is your fucking fantasy, bro. You
No.
take it wherever you want.
Yeah, straight from the head.
Speaking of homoeroticism, I dressed up like a Wolverine for Halloween and did shrooms and went to see Air, the French band, with my friends.
How was Air? Yeah.
And they kept calling me Blogan or Gabertooth the whole night.
Wow.
I had mutton chops and claws.
Yeah.
Oh, it was awesome. So they perform in this stage thing. They build an extra stage on the stage. It's like a cinema-wide white room with all these lights in it and monitors. You think they're not monitors. It looks like walls, and then they all turn into spaceships. Beautiful. I mean, it's a great band. It's a French lounge band. There's no reason for anyone to stand up.
Oh.
It's not a dance band.
No.
So everybody in our section of the crowd somehow agreed to stay seated, which was great. So we were all chilling.
Yeah.
Everybody over there was standing up. We were like, nobody fucking stand up. Because then we all had to stand up. Because if one person in the front stands up, then it spreads.
Everyone's got to stand up, yeah.
So I'm watching the band. I can see it perfectly. The rooms are starting to kick in. These two guys are in front of my buddy. They both scoot over right in front of me. I'm like, fuck. So I lean forward, like right between their shoulders so I can see the stage thing between their heads. And then they keep turning because I'm like breathing on their necks. I'm like, you fucking moved over here, bro. And I had a perfect view of the stage, and it was awesome. They're playing my favorite song, my favorite guy playing this is my college makeout album. And then this girl starts giving it this bullshit. The sexy girl, my hand is in the air dance.
Yeah.
It's time for everyone to look at my arm and my sexy snake fingers right now that I'm doing.
Yeah.
That's like, it was fine. I couldn't see it. I could see it perfect. And then now there's this gay shit happening where basically this girl's like, everyone behind me needs to look at my hand right now. And how does she not know that everyone behind her wishes that she was dead? Like, I didn't put my phone up or take any movies or anything because the guy in front of me did it, and I was like, I wish he was dead.
Well, so okay, I'm a little bit torn on this because I also would never
You bring scarves to a show and do a sexy hand dance.
Fucking video. It's like I'm gonna go home and watch this video.
The whole show is on their YouTube. They filmed the London Philharmonic version of the exact same set.
So I just personally, I'm like, I would rather just like be here and listen to music and not.
That's
like,
what live music is. We're in the fucking live music capital of the world.
I don't want to go home and watch a shitty video I took. But anyway, I'm 100% on board with that. The standing up thing though, I don't know. Like I'm kind of with you because I've been annoyed by this in the past where people stand up and I'm like, this isn't a stand-upable moment.
Yeah, I'm old.
Keep your ass.
There aren't a lot of those.
We were talking about going to see Fatboy Slim on Halloween night at the concourse, and I was like, I can't dance like that anymore.
Yeah.
If I hear the shit that made me move my ass when I was 21, I'm gonna want to do something, and I'll get a heart attack probably.
Yeah.
I can't do those same drugs.
You definitely
I can't
would,
do those same moves.
Don't.
I'm gonna be sitting in the corner like a dork with my hands on my clasped. Going, I love Fatboy Slim.
I don't know. Is it okay to stand? What do you guys think? Josh has said his part. Standing at Air. Can you stand at the Air concert?
Is it everybody else standing?
Well, no, Donnie. I don't know if that's.
I like that you had like a section that had a mutual non-aggression pact.
Yeah,
like that was like,
right.
You guys,
I mean, if it's, especially at that venue because it was the Moody Amphitheater where there is chairs for everybody.
Right.
Then you should probably just, and especially if it's air. Like, what are you gonna do? Are you gonna stand and do that hippie dance, waving your hands in the air? No.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like if I went and saw like Dead and Company or something like that. By the way, R.I.P. Phil Lesh. But like, I feel like if I went and saw Dead and Company, I would probably want to stand. Actually,
I guess it depends on the artist. Depends on the music, right?
Yeah. But Air, probably not. Probably sitting is better. But how do you know someone else's sensibilities when it comes to standing and sitting for what band? You
gotta feel it in your gut and your balls.
I feel it way down to my plums.
Yeah.
And then the guy that I took the drugs with, we both took the same amount of drugs, did the worst possible thing you can do on drugs.
Made out.
Right when it was kicking in for both of us, because we both ate it at the same time. He leaned over, he was right next to me, and he was like, this is the perfect time for it to be kicking in right now. And I was like, shut the fuck. It's just like I wanted a video because it was my favorite part of my favorite song. But the guy in front of me
took a video.
No, because the guy in front of me was videoing, and I was like, I see what a cunt move this is. I'm not going to do it. I don't need to be double told how rad this moment is.
Right.
With the backup words.
You just record it and take it back to like the video of next, put it next to the video of fireworks from the 4th of July.
That's like, dude, that fucking kills me more than anything. These fucking idiots. I'm at like the Kyle, Texas 4th of July fireworks show.
You better get this on video.
Yeah,
it is. Well,
I can show Ray Lane.
Never gonna happen again.
I'll actually give him a pass because sometimes you have like devastating fireworks accidents, and those are awesome.
Yeah, I would like to get those on video.
Yeah, right? you want to be ready just in case Cooter blows the fuse. And they start shooting bottle rockets into the crowd.
That's actually the reason to do it.
Yeah,
right? You have the fucking thing just out just in case tragedy strikes, so you can get that shit.
So Mike, we've been talking a lot recently about getting arrested and doing drugs and going to titty bars and any mixture of the three. You got anything like that? That you're legally allowed to talk about? Are we in litigation right now? The statute of limitations is over.
What happened in Tunisia is what he's asking.
No, God, no, I didn't. Okay, actually, there was. I may have broken the law in Tunisia.
Sharia law or normal? Gay law?
Actually, kind of sure. They're not under Sharia law, but it was.
You held hands with your wife?
I got a picture of it. There's me in front of. It was Obi-Wan's hut. It's on the island of Jerba, and it was. I think they edited it out for the new editions, but it was in the original one. It was the exterior shot.
Yeah, they changed that exterior shot for the stupid special editions.
Yeah. So there's a picture of me standing next to it, and
what special editions?
I may have pissed in that mosque.
Nice.
There was no bathroom there. There was nothing there, and I gotta go. It's an abandoned mosque.
You're standing with the infidel urine.
Kind of, yeah.
You have desecrated the prophet. Yeah.
So that was.
I could not, for the life of me, think of the word mosque the other day at work.
Really?
My buddy was flipping out about the Middle Easterns that work there, and he was like, "They all go to the same church." And I was like, "I don't think it's called a church."
No.
But I can't remember the word, so I can't correct you. I don't know the alternative.
It's not called a church. It's called a place where they plan the next terrorist event.
It's a ground kissing temple where they kiss the ground.
But yeah, I was probably a little. That was not a good idea. But it was.
You did Ozzy Osbourne on the Alamo.
It was kind of was. It was yeah. It was, but it was indoors. Like I was inside, so I stepped into the shell.
Your penis is cursed now. You know that, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you've been cursed by a djinn.
Yeah.
Your penis is cursed.
Yeah, last week we were talking with Audrey about just like getting arrested and DWIs and things like that. And I was telling my story about how I got busted at a Border Patrol checkpoint with weed and some of those. So
The El Paso one?
yeah, the El Paso.
Yeah, the El Paso one's fucking nasty, man.
I
Yeah.
was trying to give her a beer, and she was like, I got a breathalyzer in the car. And I was like, much has changed since you were here in May.
Uh-oh.
What's been going on all summer long?
Uh-oh.
Wait, this is you got Audrey Scott?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she's
She's
cool.
the
I've met her a
president.
couple times. So,
She's the writing candidate. She's going to be the president.
Yeah.
Even if she doesn't win, she won and they cheated.
Yeah.
And it was robbed and they rigged it.
so way to go. So
The president in my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's the bartender at Roscoe's. You'll see her. A lot.
yeah, I saw her there. I saw her at it was like a weird. There was that Dave and Buster's open mic that I don't
Yeah.
think is there anymore.
It was a Dave & Buster's open mic.
Yeah, for a while.
There's one at Pinballs, too.
Yeah.
There's one of pinballs.
Yeah, they're
I
putting
fucking
them
love pinballs.
Wait, is that
man.
on the south? Is that
I know
on
you
the-
love all kinds
No,
of
it's
balls.
I think it's the
All
183
kinds of
one.
Oh, okay, because there's something like that in like Buda, but
No, there is. There's one in Buda. It's on the.
It's in the old
That's the big one.
castle looking.
It's on the
Yeah.
place,
east side of I-35. Like
yeah.
What about
basically
drugs,
opposite
Mike? Have you
from
ever had a
Cabela's.
resplendent experience on drugs?
No, even
altering?
weed. Like I probably most of my weed experiences like I've done edibles which don't agree with me at all. Like they just hit way too hard, and usually because I mix them with beer, and that's really not a good thing.
Yeah. Spinny time.
Yeah, like we tried like getting my wife and I. We went back to California after it was legal, and we bought way too many edibles. That's like just the rookie. We ended up giving half of them away.
You didn't do acid in college or anything?
No, I'm wound way too tight for that. I think that would just be bad. Even mushrooms, like maybe like a microdose of mushrooms or something, but like I don't know. I think I'm wound too tight for weed. Like that's just like I did one. I poured a beer. It was a beer that I can't get back here. It was the hop Tricera hops, really good triple IPA.
Yeah.
Yummy. And I poured it, but at that point, because I had taken an edible like an hour ahead.
You get spinny?
Yeah. And then all of a sudden I'm like, I can't stand up. Like it just hit me too hard. So
Yeah, I found the perfect dose of these chocolate mushroom things that are going around that, because I'm not trying to see God or whatever. Mm-hmm. I found the perfect amount that just makes everything a little bit funnier. Mm-hmm. So it makes my life more like I want it to be. Mm-hmm. Because there's shit that's funny that if you don't notice it, because you're not going to have the giggles already anyway. Mm-hmm. So I take two of these things and I'm like,
nice.
That was
it's
the
just a
season
mild
premiere.
little.
I wish I could I wish I could partake like that.
You could probably eat a very small dose of mushrooms.
Yeah,
and
like
it'd
I
probably
could
be
have a
fine.
microdose. Or
Yeah.
like
But
that.
even maybe just a little more, like a double microdose, like a gram or something, because you're not going to go to fucking space.
Well, if you like being wound tight, if you're happy with yourself and your thoughts, then you don't need to alter it. I need to calm down sometimes.
Yeah.
Like I have to reset every once in a while. I get spun out and I have to like.
Dude, when me and
Look at
Donnie were
things.
hanging out the other night, it was the first time I'd smoked weed in a while, and there were some point. I don't know if it was coming through, Donnie, but there were some points where I'm like, God damn, I'm fucking high as shit.
You're like, it's kicking in right now. This is the perfect
I didn't.
time.
I never said anything like that. I was just trying to be normal, but it felt good. It was great.
Yeah.
I was like, oh man, I'm fucking stoned. And my neighbor said something. Yeah, she came over. It was Diwali, or it's still Diwali, I guess. And she comes over and she's like,
what was it, Diwali? Or
Diwali's the Indian holiday.
Oh, okay.
It
It's like
happens
it's
at the same time as Halloween.
Yeah, they gave the
It's like
kids the day
yeah.
after Halloween off because they didn't want them in there after all the candy. They were like, whatever, it's Diwali, take it off.
So they brought over these snacks, and they're these like sweet cashew, like mashed cashew snacks. They're fucking delicious.
There's poop in those, you know that, right?
And she's like, there's poop. And she's like,
They wipe with their hand. They hand make everything.
yeah.
Everything
You know
is
what? I don't give a
handmade.
shit. It tastes good. So she's like, she
Would you
brings
like
it
a
over, and
handmade
she's
treat?
like,
Which hand did you
here's
make
your
it with?
Diwali snacks, and I'm like, oh, thank. Oh, it's really sweet. Whatever. And so she's telling us about all these different Indian gods, and she's like, and now I can't remember this one's name, but she's the one with the third eye, Ganesh.
I think that's yeah.
Yeah, she's like, and you know Ganesh, he's like the one who's always smoking weed, and I'm like,
Nice.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
And she's like, yeah, you know. And I'm like,
sure.
yeah, I know. Yeah. I mean, me and Donnie are just like blowing plumes of smoke, and I'm watching them go like right into her back door.
Oh, she wants to party.
She was
She's
smelling
trying to
nice.
party. She's trying to get Ganesh with you guys.
That was what Bill Hicks called mushrooms. He called that squeegeeing the third eye.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Do you like Bill Hicks? I love Bill Hicks. I have a hard time listening to it now, but I loved it at a point in my life.
I think he gets a little bit more credit than, because he was edgy, but he was very political, and I think he had the right politics to get I agree with those politics. Yeah. The bit about Rush Limbaugh's Scat Muncher is brilliant. But I think he kind of gets a little bit more credit than his actual act, because actual act was sometimes very rough, like especially in the albums, and it may just be what was recorded.
Yeah.
But he had that ability, though. If you ever hear his bit on his smoking bit that Dennis Leary ripped off, that is one of the best constructed bits. Yeah, the Yul Brynner smoking bit. Yeah. Like that's one of the best constructed bits, and it's awesome. If you listen to it like on YouTube, there's a whole bunch of different versions of it, and you can kind of listen to it evolve.
Word economy.
Yeah, like you could. It's a really interesting experience to or to just listen to the same joke told differently, and sometimes he adds stuff.
Yeah.
I think he would have benefited from being more polished, like if he had just put in the act. But that may have just been the recordings that are left.
And also, there's probably a good however many years of him developing his act that we didn't get because he died so young. There's and also he also might be benefiting from the fact that he did die, that he became more legendary.
Yeah.
And he's one of those it's hard to go back and listen to now because everything's kind of evolved past that point so much, and that has kind of been integrated into comedy and then recontextualized, and then the meta of all that, and so now it almost seems kind of quaint sometimes to listen to.
Yeah, definitely. Like
it's like, oh, that's where we were back in 1993.
That's what was edgy back when the edge was not now where it is now.
Right. It's not timeless. Like Carlin's stuff is like, there's a lot of Carlin stuff that's like super. That's timeless. Yeah. There's some Carlin stuff that's dated or whatever. But some of the Bill Hicks stuff, it's like you listen to it and you're like, this is a good comedian in 1993.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
What about titty bars, Mike? Have you been to titty bars?
Twice.
Okay.
Bachelor parties, both of them. Not my jam.
I'm the same. It's like the plane going down. There was too much desperation in the air.
Well, yeah, and it's just I overthink it. I'm just I just look at him and I'm like, what happened, darling?
I start looking at the crowd. I'm like, who are they going to go after?
Well, especially now that if you went, you're 50 and it's a 19-year-old and you're like, you are a child.
Yeah.
So
I'm like, what happened, darling? Between Daddy's lap to mine, something fucking really went wrong.
Maybe it was Daddy's lap that went wrong.
Probably was.
That might have just been the only wrong thing.
Yeah, right.
But it's a big wrong thing.
Yeah.
I will say I did, as I was leaving the strip, it was in Reno. I had two of them. That was...
Every girl who says she's stripping her way through college is actually stripping her way through early parenting.
Yeah.
I'm stripping my way through this toddler.
But there was a girl dancing to Rob Zombie's Blood, Milk, and Sky. And I was like, that's actually kind of hot. Like, I love that song. And it was like one of the remixes. It was like really slow and cool. I'm like, that's actually, you had me for a minute.
That was me with Prince Pussy Control remix. That was good.
I went to the Spearmint Rhino in San Bernardino.
Nice. Oh yeah, you told us about that last time. Donnie wins. Donnie has a drug cops titty bar story combo. Ultimate combo finisher.
Yeah.
Ultimate combo finisher.
Oh yeah, when you get pulled over and get a DUI out of the strip club parking lot.
You get a DUI out of the
Yeah, we were talking about this last week.
Shit.
I had a group of work friends who loved to go to the strip clubs, like married couples or whatever. And so we go there just to get drunk and be crazy.
I met them on the cruise ship.
Yeah. And so I went with some of my work friends were like, let's go to Sugar's or whatever.
Yeah.
So we go to it. It's dead, and so like, this sucks. Let's go to the Yellow Rose. So everybody leaves to go to the Yellow Rose, but I have to close my tab. So I wait to get my check. I close my tab. I jump in my car. I drive out of the parking lot, and as I'm pulling out of the parking lot, I see cops have somebody pulled over, and I'm like, oh, I'm good because that's the cops that are pulling people over. I pull out of the parking lot, and I get to the traffic light that's right outside the parking lot, and all of a sudden there's flashing lights in my rearview mirror, and I realize my headlights are not on because the parking lot was so bright. I was distracted and I didn't realize.
It was their fault. It was the titty bar's fault.
Yeah, so
they had anti-rape lights in the parking lot.
Yeah.
Damn it.
So they pull me over and they like do the test, or they're like, yeah, we're gonna do a sobriety test. So I do the sobriety test, and they say I failed it. And then I'm like, fine, I'm gonna blow. I'm gonna see how drunk I am. I don't care. Yeah. So I blow below the legal limit. And that's what they do is they make sure that they take as long as possible between the time that they put you in the car to when they take you to blow, because it takes like an extra hour for they want the alcohol levels in your blood to be as high as possible, right? So at the height, I was like 0.07. And
0.08's
the legal limit, but they can just say they've arrested people for having no blood alcohol, like blowing zeros before.
So if they had waited a little longer, do you think you would have been at 8? Or if
I think they waited at the perfect amount of time. There was no way I was ever going to be too drunk.
Okay.
So did you just get out?
I still got charged, and I still had to pay a lawyer $4,000 to do the deferred stuff where I just didn't have another ticket or anything for like a year and a half, and it got dismissed or whatever.
So you don't have a DUI on your...
No, I have I think I never got the record of the arrest expunged because you have to pay extra for that. But they can just see that I was arrested for it, but they can't see that I was never convicted.
What a pain in the ass. What a fucking bunch of dumb
How old was I? I was like 20, 28, 29.
Oh, yeah.
So this is like 2011. So, and then of course this is right before Uber, and then Uber shows up, and there was no way that I would have ever gotten a DUI.
Yeah, there's no excuse now.
If there had been Uber back then, right?
Yeah. There's no
especially
excuse
when
except for that I love to drive drunk. That's
right.
It is, like Mario Kart drunk, awesome.
Enhanced operation, enhanced vehicle operation.
Just get a few beers and play Grand Theft Auto and just start running people over at the golf course.
Man, a few years ago, this is such a gnarly story, but my buddy bought a Tesla. It was during 2020, so it was right.
I'm so glad you don't say Tesla. I hate that.
Me too.
Tesla. You fucking European?
I'm
Tesla.
I'm gonna suck your dick. So
you win.
He buys a Tesla. And he comes over to my house, and we can't hang out inside because it's COVID and everyone's scared and all that, right? So we're hanging out in the backyard. Yeah. And we get fucking trashed, right?
That was a good time to be in the Adirondack building business.
Yeah.
Everybody had like 6 foot apart, huge Adirondacks with cup holders and phone chargers.
Oh, yeah. We were in that boat. So we're out in the backyard.
Fire pits.
We must have drank like 6 or 7 IPAs a piece over like a course of like 4 hours. I mean, we were hammered. And he goes, hey, you want to drive the Tesla? And I was like, we're not supposed to be in the same space together. He's like, fuck it, let's go. Like that's the thing I'm worried about, right?
Kiss too.
Yeah.
So we go out and get in the car, and both of us are just like seeing fucking sideways. And he's like, "Dude, just like take it out to the main, take it out to the FM, out to 1826 and fucking floor it." And I'm like, bang! And we're just, I mean, it doesn't make that cool of a noise. It makes no noise at all, right?
Yeah.
The wind, you just hear the wind.
Yeah.
The Jetsons car.
Me, birdie, dirty.
Oh, it was so fun. And there's not a goddamn soul on the road, right? Like no one. It's like 3 a.m. It's
we ran over 3 small children. We didn't see them. There was nobody left after we were there.
That was probably a good time to be a DUI, like because like what cop wants you to blow on anything like at that point? You're like,
we're only putting ourselves
the gay
at
cops.
Risk. It was totally fine.
Stuff.
Also, they were probably busy like shooting people in the eye with a beanbag.
Beanbags,
yeah.
At that time.
By the way. Sorry. If Kristen ever hears this story, like I'm denying the shit out of it.
No, hashtag satire.
It was for this podcast.
This is a comedy show. We're making stories.
Yeah. We're making stories.
Yeah, it's like they have to tell you they're a cop. As long as you just go, oh, this comedy show.
It's a comedy show.
None of this is real.
I was drunk.
I had a buddy that got the ultimate comic book breaker. He went to a titty bar looking for coke. He heard any titty bar you can get coke from the DJ. So he went to try to get coke from the DJ. But he got hustled and had to get a dance and had to get a drink, and then he ended up getting too drunk, and then he got mad that the coke was shitty and expensive, and he didn't get enough of it, and they had already called the cops when they threw him out. So he went from drugs to a titty bar to cops like within a minute.
Wow,
well, it's not good.
This is the same guy that came here for South by and FedExed himself coke to my friend's house in another name, and then he was dangling it in front of girls all night, going, "Check out my band," and he had like CDs of his band. Mm-hmm. And we ended up at a Vice party on 6th Street in the bottom of a unfinished skyscraper at 2 a.m. And they got in and I didn't, so I just went home. And then he got all flipped out. He was like, "Where'd you go?" And I was like, "I went home to my fucking wife and kids. You were about to get laid. You had a girl with you. Like, I can only wingman for so long. Mm-hmm. What do you want me to do? Put it in for you? Like, you had a girl. What do you want me to do? Get you hard first and kiss you and put it in for you?
Yeah.
What do you want me to do?
Right.
Suck you off and tell the girl to leave and
slurp you off? You want me to slurp you off first?
I'm just wingmanning here. I'm not your boyfriend.
Do you understand how this goes down?
Trying to help you get a girlfriend.
What this is?
What do you want me to do? Get married, get gay married in San Francisco together forever and be a loving couple until we're dead?
You didn't want to be the fluffer.
Eventually, I'm going to have to peel off. What's next for Marvel? Are they going to have a gay Eskimo hero?
It's not even worth considering. Like, it's not even worth thinking about. Like, none of this stuff is even worth like seeing, like acknowledging. Like, none of this slop, this trash.
I heard that Agatha all along is actually
no. I've heard it's terrible and dumb and lame and gay.
Because those people have to say that they're being paid their shills.
The WandaVision wasn't bad, so
it was it was okay until the end. Whenever it turned into the same Marvel crap, with the flying in the air over the city and all that.
That's all. I mean, that's all of it. They're just,
I know. Is nobody tired of that yet? Are they still like eating the slop? Or are they still like, "Oh, this is pretty good"? Eating shit out of the toilet.
Well, the new Black Panther movie is just called Wakanda Sykes. It's just Wakanda Sykes. Just Wanda Sykes, because black strong lesbians have taken over everything. So she's like, "Man, y'all trying to take my vibranium? I hide it in my pussy."
That's a pretty good Wanda Sykes.
Yeah. Man, y'all can't have my vibranium.
That's pretty good.
I've been hiding it in my pussy.
If I close my eyes and you do that, I can kind of see Wanda Sykes over there.
Wakanda Sykes.
Wakanda Sykes. Yeah.
Well, like even paying attention to whatever new Marvel thing is coming out, it's like I don't know what the new menu item at McDonald's is, right?
Yeah.
I mean, like, that's exactly what it is. I'm like, I'm not going to get excited because I saw a commercial saying that the Arch Deluxe is back or whatever. You know, I got burned on the Szechuan sauce with the Rick and Morty times.
So Black Panther is just the McGriddle of Marvel Entertainment.
Yeah,
the McGriddle's back.
Everything Marvel is the McGriddle of Marvel Entertainment now. It's like it's not even worth like registering in your mind at this point.
Someday they're going to be ironically funny.
I did see. I saw the Deadpool and Wolverine.
That was good.
That was I think fun. And I think the one it is the one-offs where they actually they don't have like so much money tied up in that property.
They did so well that now they're going to do more of them and it's going to suck.
I'm glad you didn't say McRib when you're doing the McDonald's comparison, because I fucking love McRib, and if you besmirch the name of McRib,
I'm hiding all the McRibs in my pussy. Y'all, man, y'all can't take my McRib.
I'd love to
this month at McDonald's, the Wakanda McRib. It's made with rhinos.
God. No, I was tripping at the Air concert and thinking about what's the AI robot is going to be like that is going to get everybody hooked on, like you were hooked on our phones.
Yeah. And
I was thinking maybe it would be like a sofa. Like everybody wants a sofa to follow them around. If you just have a sofa that can form up like Voltron wherever you're at, like I want to lay down. Now I have a sofa with me. Then I got in the back of my friend's car and it was like luxury. And it was an electric car and it had self-driving and I was like, this is it. I'm in the AI sofa bot.
Yeah.
You can summon it to where you are with the keys.
Yeah. What kind of car was it?
I don't remember.
I think JD Vance would really like an AI sofa bot.
Hell yeah.
That would be,
Back up and go forward and back up and go forward. Let's play Choo Choo Train Goes in the Tunnel.
I don't have my soundboard on. I could have done the Pee-wee secret word.
Oh, nice. I was waiting for like Couchy's meet or Cherry's Me Too moment remember Cherry from Pee Wee's Playhouse.
Yeah. So here we go. Here we go. Let's see.
Yay! That should be for the first time I mentioned that women are all like my wife.
Yeah. We're gonna have to remember that for future episodes.
Or we need some sound to signify it.
You know how all women have big asses and glasses and are blonde and don't get out of bed? God damn it. Did you notice the tripod comedian at Luster Pearl? He's got his girlfriend with him, and he's got an AI gimbal. Did you see that thing?
Yeah.
You already have a girlfriend. She won't hold the fucking camera for you. You got to buy an AI gimbal to follow you around the room. It's like, put her to work. Get her to do. The women don't do anything, is what I'm saying. Yay!
Man. No.
I sat right behind him while he was performing, and he was walking back and forth, and the thing was like tilting and following him. So
Yeah.
it was like a white iPhone-looking thing with an arm and another arm. Like, damn, your comedy sucks, though. That's not worth.
Yeah.
I have not noticed that any better.
I've seen like it is the saddest thing when you have like comics that are really bad and you see them recording like every set, and I'm just like,
yeah.
What are you doing with this?
Yeah, go and watch it and kill yourself.
I mean, I get it. Like I like if you.
It was playing in the room when we found him hanging by a piece of electrical cord on the fan.
Yeah, I mean that's. And I've said it before. That's that.
Suck! I wish I was dead.
That's what astounds me. Like there's so many comics that are like moving to Austin. These young kids, like they left all their stuff behind, like in Iowa or Ohio or whatever, and they're moving to Austin to do comedy, which is beautiful. But like, because we need dreamers to do that.
Well, and there's a lot of heroes that say you fail upward and you get better every time you bomb, and it's like
some people don't. But actually, a lot of people don't.
But I'm like you
Most
left Indiana with those jokes.
Yeah,
like
right.
that's the best. Like you could have.
Yeah,
just stayed in Indiana. Those are Indiana jokes. Stay in Indiana with those jokes.
And that's not
AI gimbals in the world aren't going to help that material.
Yeah, and
Just
that's not targeted towards any because I've met a lot of people like that are. I met some people that are pretty good, but like man,
No,
I'm like,
I'm
holy
naming
shit.
any names. They have a fitness influencer channel where they go on vacation and take videos of each other with the sunset. I'm like, just invest in that.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That looks like it's going to do better for you.
So they're at
Girlfriend's
Lester
hot.
Pearl.
Yeah.
He's got an AI gimbal. He's got a girlfriend. They do influencer videos, fitness
You
videos.
fucking
But I'm not
put-
going to name any names.
No, you don't even have to triangulate it. You can square it. I said 4 things.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were leaving the Air concert. I was tripping balls, and we were making up band names because it's always a guy and an animal, a man's name and an animal and a verb, like Tommy Johnson and the Flaming Thundercats or something. There's something wrong with the animal, and it's the guy's full name. So then I was like, "What about Johnny and the Rapists? Have you ever heard Johnny and the Rapists?"
Yeah.
And I think I said it too loud because some cop looked at me, and then I threatened to kiss him on the neck. And then they put me in the car and took me out of there in the AI couch robot. They were like, "We got to get this guy.
You got to
out."
get him out of here. He's about to get in trouble.
He started fussing at me for being in the road. I was like, "These are my fucking roads. I striped these roads.
Yeah.
I know you put that cone there. That's your fault. You borrowed those cones from me. It says my department's name on the fuck face. I'll kiss you on the neck right now." And they were like, "Get in the couch
Kiss you
spot."
on the neck right now.
It's a
All
very
right. Yeah,
interesting
it's very
threat.
specific,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think of the
I'll
worst.
slurp you off right now.
I'll slurp you off right now. You been slurped off lately, boy?
Trying to think of the most offensive thing you could do to a cop without getting in trouble.
Yeah.
Kiss them on the
They
neck.
would piss them off a
pretty-
lot, but you could be in
I'm
court
pretty
like,
sure
"Wait,
that
what?
it could get you in trouble.
I just sex trafficked my mouth onto his neck."
I got a story actually because I worked for the state in California, and we had it was a CHP came in to do the what if we have a shooting thing or something and all that, and then nice lady cop, and she said, "Okay, let's have question and answer." And somebody asked like, "Hey, what if I'm on my cell phone and I call 911?" This is like when cell phones were not like super big. She's like, "What if I call on my cell phone and where does it get routed to and how do I get a cop?" And I say under my breath, "Just go to Starbucks."
Yeah.
And she's like, "I heard that."
Like the guy from You Can't Do That on Television.
I wasn't wrong because if you ever
I
drive,
heard that.
especially then, if you ever drive by a fucking Starbucks, like it's all cops.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Duncan.
Just go to a Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah,
Hey.
Yeah.
In California, for me, it was Winchell's.
Well, that's how you know you go to you found a good barbecue place. So like if you go at lunch for a barbecue place and it's full of cops, usually pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of barbecue places, I went to KG. It's fucking...
So where is KG?
Okay, so I went to Barbecue Fest in Lockhart this
Yeah,
weekend,
right. You were talking about that the other day.
which was fucking great.
Yeah.
It was a very good thing to do. So I went down there, and KG is a Egyptian guy who moved here or lives here or whatever, who started a barbecue place, and he does this kind of like Egyptian barbecue deal.
Are they over at
The
Meanwhile
G is
Brewing?
for Egypt.
No, they're odd, not Meanwhile, Oddwell,
Oh, okay.
Odd Time, Odd something.
Because there's
Odd-
another like
Diwali.
African distant relative.
Yeah,
distant
barbecue.
relatives.
Distant
is over at
relative,
Meanwhile,
yes.
yeah.
Distant yes. So KG is it's at this Oddwell, Odd something. Gosh, I can't remember. Anyway, whatever. Anyway, so we go
Welcome
down
to the old guys trying to remember stuff show.
Yeah. So we
What
go
was it
down.
called? Fuck my ass, I can't remember.
Mosque.
So we go, there we go. So we go down to the mosque, and and there's an hour-long line to get KG. They had oxtail and lamb chop, and I was like, all right, I'm waiting in this line. So we waited in the line. It was fucking incredible.
Dude, white people know how to queue up real good because we're British.
Oh yeah.
Form a queue.
Yeah.
In the orderly fashion.
Yeah. You can't. So we got in the line. We got the barbecue. We ate the barbecue, and I was like, this is so fucking good. I want to go back. So we went back.
Did a bang bang.
We went back. We went to the actual place at the brewery.
Where is this at? What town?
It's in Austin.
Okay.
Lockhart.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
The barbecue fest, the big event, was
Yeah.
in Lockhart.
Yeah.
And KG from Austin was like representing there, if you will. But yeah, the place it's off Manor and like Airport Boulevard ish area.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, it's
There's
right
a
over there.
Chinese place I want to go to over there on 11th called The Original 1000. They have chicken and waffles. They have Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken and waffles. It looks really good.
Really?
Like the nodules of the waffles are the same size as the chicken things.
Oh,
it's like reverse
that's
Belgian.
good.
I think somebody just posted a picture of that on
Yeah.
like the
Wow.
Austin subreddit or something.
Yeah, I
That's-
saved that
that's
picture
like
to my
science.
phone to show my
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
Did you get to Barb's barbecue down there in Lockhart?
No, so
That's supposed
they
to be really good.
so Barb's had their storefront open as part of Barbecue Fest.
Oh, okay.
And that had a long line too.
Yeah. I hate the
KG
lines.
and then I'm okay with it because I'm like, you know what, like this is gonna be something good. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna stand in this line and I'm gonna get ready for it. And I don't know, I make
Yeah.
peace. I make peace with it.
I hate lines. I went up to Interstellar,
Oh,
and I didn't. The line was like down the block. I'm like, fuck this. I found. So actually, in the same plaza, there was an Indian place, and I went in there. I was the only white guy in there. I'm like, okay,
That's
I think
how
this
you know.
is and it burnt my face off, but it was pretty good shit.
Oh, God damn, I want some burn your face off.
It
Indian
was
food.
it's the go to the Indian buffet next to Interstellar. And
Okay.
It was,
Oh, nice.
yeah, it was some good shit.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Hey, I got to step out and take this fucking retarded call. By the way, the
do that
retarded
too.
call, Mike, these guys know, but basically, I was at a Boy Scout thing with my son. This one kid humped another kid's head. That kid whose head was humped filed a formal complaint, and because I'm the
Because the BSA has to act like that's
committee-
not cool. All
Yeah.
of a sudden,
Yeah.
they've
yeah,
been
exactly.
fucking humping
Yeah,
each other
exactly.
for decades.
Yeah,
Yeah, what
Yeah.
happened? What happened?
What
to
happened
the,
all the-
What happened to the just between us badge?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
like,
when it's
exactly.
the counselor
Like,
and
what
the
the hell
kid.
do you
When
think
it's
George
between
Michael-
kids, yeah. It's a
Yeah,
problem.
so now I have to go have a meeting with the dad and his kid on the phone,
Nice.
and then me and the scoutmaster, and we have to tell the kid, hey, there's no head humping. So anyway,
Let's,
Should grab a beer. On
I got to
the way
go
out.
do that.
yeah, I wish I.
He's making an early exit from the
Donna-
episode, but he'll be back for the stream later on.
See ya.
Wow.
Donnie, I took one for the team and watched Joker 2.
Oh, was it terrible?
No,
Ah,
everyone
okay.
is dumb. It was a continuation. Did you watch it?
Don't they like rape
I
him
haven't-
and then they make fun of him and then they take everything away from him and then he just gets murdered at the end by a guy who's apparently the real Joker?
It's a continuation of the first movie. The story goes along the similar type.
Doesn't
of,
it retell the whole first movie? It said actually that didn't happen and actually now he's got like a Joker personality and all these other things that were not in the first movie
So
at all.
the thing that bothered me about the first movie was that you can't tell when he's delusional or not.
Yeah,
Like, they had the whole
that's-
story
yeah.
arc with Zazie Beetz, and I was feeling good for him, and then it turns out it was all wrong, and he's delusional.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
hate
way to
those.
tell when he's switching back and forth.
Yeah.
In this one, when they start singing, they're tripping out. And they're in their imagination. So,
So
at
it's
least they give you
clearly
some
delineated.
indicator. It's not
Okay.
a musical. They whistle while they work. My wife does that when she's like has too much going on or she's stressed out with the kids. She goes la 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 la. Like people do that
Yeah.
when they aren't super happy.
I want to check it out just because I heard it was like a fuck you to like a lot of the like.
It's not as bad.
I didn't like the first one that much. Mostly a lot of because of the distrustful narrative.
Yeah.
That
I just thought it was derivative. I thought that it was
Oh, yeah,
it was
it was-
ripping off too much Scorsese. The only thing that was really good about it was his performance.
Yeah, he was fine.
And but like I
The
didn't
look was cool, but it ripped
a
off a lot.
lot of the people who a lot of the reason I think the people really liked it was just because they were like like I've been saying like kind of like McDonald's people that just like they're very very easily tricked into thinking something is really really deep whenever I'm like I've seen this 15 times before and I've seen it done better 15 times
Yeah.
before
Well, the first one's about psychosis, and the second one's about delusion. And in the first one, the girl doesn't even know him, and he fools himself into thinking they're in a relationship, so he's like an incel. The second one, he gets a girlfriend, and she betrays him at the end. So it's a good message for incels.
Yeah.
Like, stay incel, dude. Nothing's gonna work out for you. They're gonna fucking lie.
I think that's probably gonna. That's why.
But
they're
yes,
incels.
they also just have him get raped and they have him get murdered.
It's not.
And there's a lot of fuck you. Like you
wasn't
liked the first movie.
Explicit
fuck you.
rape. It was implied. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
It wasn't as. I was horrified. I heard from Matt McCusker that he gets raped at the beginning, and it's like an hour in. It's halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
I've heard the new Penguin. The Penguin show.
Oh, the Penguin show's
amazing.
great.
I haven't.
Yeah.
It's got its finale next week. It's really, really good.
Yeah. If you're waiting till they're all out, they should all be out by now. And
Okay.
the world is now a different place once this is out because the election's tomorrow.
Well, now once this is out, we're still not going to know who the president is. We're probably not going to know who the president is till like Thursday or Friday.
It's January 6th.
Yeah, that was weird. Like that was like when he won the first time. I was like, it's like, why the fuck do we not know how we like it would take?
Why do I have to stay up
days.
until 3? God damn it.
Yeah.
I
Or
want
like
to know. I watched
days.
it.
Well, I
Like-
mean, the first election, I was old enough to vote in. I woke up the next morning and it was like too close to call, and that went on for what, a month or so.
Bush Gore.
Bush and Gore. Yeah, that
I
was
think
the
it was
first one.
like it was a few weeks. Yeah.
It wasn't. I don't think they really settled it until the Supreme Court ruled in like
Yeah.
December.
And then you can lose and then still drag it out. And
Yeah. Well, we saw that.
You're
last
talking
time,
about doing
yeah.
a stream here, but I also want to get fucked up, and a bunch of other people want to party.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be up late watching it anyway, so nobody wants to be sober for this.
I may put myself on like information blackout. My wife and I have talked about
That'd
that.
be
Like
awesome.
just you
I
know,
kinda
like
don't
I'm just
wanna even
play
pay attention.
Doom.
Go to
for
fucking the
something.
woods in Wimberley and get an Airbnb cabin.
Yeah.
And turn
Yeah.
off everything. Leave
Yeah,
all
just-
your phones at home.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
like just you know, like because it's.
Raw dog it. Raw dog the whole election.
I mean, it's just a matter of like you wake up the next day. I'm like, okay, I guess we're this dumb. We're gonna do this one again.
Yeah. I remember. I think I remember they didn't call. It was always the next day on a lot of them that I remember.
Yeah.
Like the
Yeah.
John Kerry conceded. I think the next day.
That's the day we
Yeah.
should have off is the Wednesday.
Yeah.
Yeah, Obama like was that night.
No, Obama. They knew.
Yeah, yeah.
I think they knew days before from the polling. The
Yeah.
original Obama. And then I remember in 2012, Karl Rove freaking out whenever it became obvious that Obama was winning again, and like
Yeah.
going back to the people who were counting the Fox News because Fox News
Yeah.
called it.
Yeah.
Right.
I would have. God, that was actually like when Trump lost, if you believe that sort of thing.
When Trump had the election stolen from him.
I would have loved to be a fly on the wall, like when he was basically watching the result numbers go swing from him to Biden, and having to watch black poll workers counting them in Milwaukee and Philadelphia.
Well,
I would have. There's no way he didn't drop the N bomb at least 10 times.
Oh, hell yeah.
Well, that's whenever he started really, because there was a black poll worker that they basically had a video of her taking a stack of ballots and putting them underneath the desk for a minute, saying that she was cheating
Yeah.
and getting rid of ballots or something, and she ended up like suing and getting paid out. I think she sued Rudy Giuliani.
Yeah.
But there's no way if he loses this, he's gonna fight it. And now he's got like a better apparatus in place to help him do it.
The fuckery is perfected, but
Yeah.
that was I was talking to somebody and somebody was like admiring Trump, like he's really resilient. None of this stuff can stick, and I'm like, that's a lot of things are
Yeah,
resilient.
we live
Like,
in a retard,
Yeah.
idiot society now that's gotten so much worse. We've gotten to an idiocracy. That's not a good thing.
yeah. Herpes is also very resilient.
Yeah, right.
Like if you ever like take a shit and like there's like a speck on the side of the bowl,
Yeah.
and you just
And
you
you flush
like
and you
and
scrub,
you
yeah.
pee on it.
Yeah, that's fun.
And it's kind of like that.
Pachinko.
Like to the point you think it likes getting peed on.
Yeah.
And that's I think like Trump is like a piece of shit
have to
that
talk shit to
likes
it every
being
time, you
peed
little
on.
bastard.
Yeah.
And it won't go away. Like it's vile.
It's a response to what's going from the other way, which my daughter told me today that there are rock pronouns.
Wow.
There's kids that have pet rocks, and they won't let you refer to them without their proper pronouns. So it's a displaced thing now. You have just like you were saying with your rarest Pokemon.
Yeah.
Kid's gonna show up at school with a pet rock and say you can't call this thing anything besides foxkin or whatever. This thing is a furry. The rock is a furry gay LG.
Yeah.
And I was telling her on the way to school today, I heard an interview with a gay comedian that was like, things were going good for a couple decades for gays and lesbians when it was LGB. Mm-hmm. They were almost going to get left alone. And then they added all the other numbers and shit. And then now they're all under fire and they're all being lumped together, and the conservatives are calling them all freaks again. So they're having to go through the same trauma over again, being called freaks and weird because these other things have been added onto their original thing, which was almost fine.
I remember seeing Patton Oswalt talk about that. Like, he was talking about, like, because they were attacking RuPaul for not using, like, the right pronouns at some point. He's like, I get where you're coming from, but, like, if ever there was anybody that, like, laid down on the barbed wire for gay rights, for transgender rights, like, this is the one. And then you're just going to, I'm going
to start asking people what their adverbs
are. It gets stupid, but I like how they act like that's, like, the biggest problem we have. Like, that's
well, I've always said it's two sides feeding on each other, and at some point one of the sides has to be like, you know what, I'm going to let this one go. My big thing was always the Colin Kaepernick, right? When Colin Kaepernick started kneeling, what if all the conservatives had just said, I don't agree with him, but it's fine, he can do whatever he wants or whatever, and he didn't get the attention that he was looking for? What would have happened to him? He would have dropped off and not done anything, right?
He may have been. God, shit, maybe he's still playing if people would ignore him.
Well, I don't know if he was. I don't know if he could take being a backup because that's where he was going. He was going to end up being a backup somewhere.
And there are so many shittier quarterbacks than him. And I say this because I'm a Packer fan, and he burned us hard like a couple of times. Like, it pissed me off. Like, we couldn't stop the fucker. And he's not a good quarterback. He's got like two reads and a run.
Yeah,
but he got us like that. I can't,
Donnie, did you enjoy the series? Was it a good series this year?
It was okay. It was kind of anticlimactic because the Yankees just kind of sucked.
I stopped watching when the Brewers were out. So
yeah,
they don't have the payroll.
Yeah, it was definitely it was leading up to be a big clash of the Titans, Game 7, the biggest two teams, and then it just kind of fizzled out because the Yankees weren't as good as everybody thought they were. But
the Taliban has barred Afghan women from hearing each other's voices, even in private now.
Lovely.
So originally they banned women from talking in public, and now they can't even talk to each other in private. They're really trying to not hear them or let them feel heard or seen at all.
Yeah.
How are they going to enforce that? It's like telling the women not to vote for Trump. That whole thing from this last week about the trad wife shit. You can lie to your husband.
Yeah.
And you can vote for Kamala. They'll just don't tell him. Tell him lie to him.
Yeah, I like that.
All the Texas preachers are like, you lie to your husband, that's tantamount to adultery.
Yeah. I love these trad dudes, because how the fuck do you support?
Well, who did you tell your wife to vote for?
Oh, no. Nope, I'm good.
You're married.
But
I'm trying to get pussy ever again, so I didn't tell anybody what to do.
Again, that kind of, to me, is similar to how we were talking about how the conservative side are making with the trans and all that stuff seem like a huge thing. I think that the other side has this idea that every single conservative woman is actually a prisoner in her own home, and she's being forced to vote for Trump by her evil, vindictive, tyrant of a husband. Yeah.
Sometimes when I hear I do kind of riff on that because whenever I hear some conservative woman talking about Jesus and Trump and all that, I'm like, did your husband give you permission to talk about this? Do you have a note from your father if you were unmarried? The
most unpatriotic, un-American thing to do is tell someone else who to vote for.
Yeah,
we're supposed to. That's the spirit of the whole country. Is we're all supposed to have individual.
I think it's one of those no. There's a lot of women who are true believers out there. I come from them. And whether or not you think that they are being manipulated or brainwashed or whatever, there are a lot of it's not. I know that they have made this entire election boys versus girls.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of conservative women who are just as supportive of Trump as the liberal women who are supportive of Kamala Harris, and there are a lot of men who maybe take pictures with their mouths open, they're balding, and they have beards and glasses that are just as supportive of Kamala Harris as the dudes who are in support of Trump, right?
What about me? What about my vote? What if I identify as a pet rock?
It's way too simplified. Everybody's being way too dumb and tribal about it, I think. And that's part of the problem. Well, that's part of the problem of only ever having two choices, right? Mm-hmm. Eventually we're going to get to this point where it's the dumbest possible thing and the worst stereotypes going back and forth. And then it's also a problem of letting everybody on the internet where they can sift through and get into these spirals and these echo chambers.
Yeah.
Have these two sides feeding on each other's negativity. Or
I almost think
we're being divided and conquered by the
I keep thinking like a parliamentary system.
Yeah,
would
something
be
like
not
in Europe
horrible.
where there's like 5 or 6, and then whenever everybody gets voted in, they have to like come up with a coalition of things they agree on, so that they can actually make some policy.
Or and also you only got a couple people you got to worry about. Like you got your representative, which most people don't even know who the fuck they're. I don't even know who my representative
they don't
is.
represent us.
Like and. So everybody's so focused on. I think we secretly want a king in America. I think that's the appeal of
There's
Trump.
definitely.
I think a lot of people want a king.
There is, I would say, I'd say probably about a third of the population would be totally happy with an autocrat.
It's
king.
right brain versus left brain.
dictator.
It's
Followers,
followers,
King
versus
George, as it is right now. Like holy shit.
sausage fingers.
I'm old enough. I just wanted to go back to being boring. Like
Yeah,
you remember that like the last like the first year of Biden.
Yeah.
Where you didn't have to wake up every morning and worry like, what the fuck did he say?
That's
like,
what it's going to feel like if Kamala
hurricanes
wins.
today.
It's the status quo.
And I'm old
Vice
enough to be
presidents
like,
have gotten the presidency before. There's never been a skipping stone guy that got one and then did it again after.
Yeah, I think there's been one, right?
Okay.
I think there's been one who came back after he lost it or something.
What maybe? Yeah, I think you're right.
Non-consecutive presidential terms.
Well, and then the last vice president that got it was Daddy Bush. Right?
Yeah. I mean, I used to
That
be
was in
all
our
edgy
lifetime.
and listen to the Dead Kennedy. I'm still a big Dead Kennedys fan, but like,
Grover Cleveland.
oh wow, there we go.
He's the 22nd and 24th president.
But like,
You like the dead Kennedys, but you look like the Descendants logo.
I'll take it.
What's that guy's name?
Jello Biafra, or the lead singer, or the
Whatever their
Milo.
cartoon guy. Yeah,
Milo, yeah.
Got a high and tight glasses.
Yeah.
Square
pretty
jaw.
much. But like, and I still, I'd love to have like a real, third party in this country. But on the same hand, I'm like, fucking just boring would be so nice. And
Just
accountability
some
would be
boring
nice.
ass C-SPAN
That's
shit.
how it was when we were little. It was
Yeah.
hunky dory.
You remember when
Picket fences and hedgerows and shut up.
Well, like you remember when a politician fucked up and like they got caught cheating and they were like accountability,
Or the
like
guy that
like
couldn't-
they have to go slink away and they're like,
When
okay,
Dan Quayle couldn't spell a potato
Yeah.
or something. That was huge news.
or John, John Edwards was sleeping with one of his people, then he
While
had
his
to quit.
wife had cancer.
Yeah, like
Got a woman
I'm
pregnant.
a dick.
Yeah.
I have to quit, and none of that applies anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh god.
there used to be like
we've
accountability.
We've turned into WWE professional wrestling
Pretty much.
idiocracy faster than anybody could have predicted.
The
Yeah.
American
And it's-
Coca-Cola popularity contest.
And
That
it's
is-
all my fault because I let people onto the internet.
I think ruined
that
the
was
world.
that was
You and
my
Tony
career.
hits bitches.
Yeah, my career, my early career was getting all of these people onto the internet, and now they've all got it on their phone.
Yeah.
And now the COVID vaccine kills people, but ivermectin can treat cancer now. Apparently,
Really? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So but yeah, that's our election episode. By the time this comes up, we're probably still not going to know who the president is, but now we're going to switch over to a stream. So Mike, thanks for being on your first episode of the God Awful Gospel Hour. You got anything to plug? You got anything you're doing?
I got nothing.
You brought your joke book. Are we going to get some of that?
No, I didn't. I don't, it's just out of habit. Like
Okay.
if I'm doing anything comedy related, I got to bring my notebook.
Okay.
Yeah,
so I can
just in case any ideas come up.
It's good so I can just sit in the back and not listen to people like an
Yeah.
open mic.
Yeah.
And just
For being a
But-
nerd.
Okay.
Just hang out for as long as you like. But thanks for
Yeah.
coming in and hanging out, Mike. Chris will be back for the stream, and we will talk to you next week when maybe on the next episode after this one we'll know who the president is.
We have a gay Mexican cook coming. We have some radio DJs coming. It's going to be a good season, folks.